Well, race is supposed to be a biological categorization of people, but it's not really. It's kind of a social construct because people don't really vary by race. If you try to define a race, for instance, like saying that you like certain people have a certain color skin, a certain hair type, and a certain eye color, there will be variation within that race. And I read something that was like, there's more variation within races than there is from like one race in one place to another, like genetically.
We're good? Okay. Race is the culture or geographical location you were born in or are a part of.
Race is a group of people that you connect with because of a shared feature.
Race is an idea constructed by society that tends to categorize people by skin color.
I guess I would think of race as um kind of well, first of all, I know scientifically it's been established that there is no such thing as different races. Uh everyone's essentially the same. But race is how people define if you were born somewhere else, or say born in like a different continent, different country, you have different features, different maybe overlying accents or attributes. All those, I believe, collectively define what is race.
I think race is more about where you're from.
Race is a social construct, and people are at advantage or disadvantage because of this construct. There really only is one race, which is the human race, and people seem to often get confused race and ethnicity, which are completely different.
Race is kind of a trait that you're born with that's inherited from your family.
I think race goes farther than just like the phenotypical signifiers of difference. It's more or less a question of like an ontological state of being, a way in which like bodies and peoples are categorized, if you will, that has like a deeper political significance and societal weights.
Race is like your inherited characteristics from your parents that like identify you, or like identify your appearance. And
okay, so basically people vary by clines. That's more accurate nowadays, I guess, because race has been used, it's been used for, I don't know, to be like, I don't know, racism became a thing because of people categorizing each other into races. And I don't know, it's not biological, it's a social thing, I guess. So people vary by clines. What I meant by that is that one characteristic will be very prevalent in one area, and then it will sort of be less prevalent as you move away from a certain locus. And because traits aren't all inherited together, I mean, some of them are linked, but because the majority of traits aren't completely linked, like you say, clines, not races.
Ethnicity is very similar to race. However, race is more of a broad category, and ethnicity is more cultural based.
Ethnicity is kind of synonymous with culture. It's given by the culture that someone's raised in, and kind of comes from the culture and the area that they grow up in and the people around them who kind of mold them into that.
Ethnicity is like where you grew up and your background and like your family culture and stuff.
It's more based on their background, so like where they come from and their culture.
Ethnicity, I think, is more tied to traditional and maybe cultural definitions, whereas your ethnicity is based on certain practices that you may have, or what you may have grown up learning, certain things like that.
Ethnicity is how someone identifies themselves as far as their ancestry or culture.
I see ethnicity as more of your culture and your background and your practices as it relates to your race.
I think ethnicity is more so a question of like localized common culture and like general identification.
You can ask the second question. An ethnicity is, I guess, what cultures you identify with. More about what cultures you identify with. I guess that's that.
Okay, ethnicity is actually, it's how one person or like a group of people will identify themselves, and it's not something that society necessarily assigns to you. It's something that you personally say, like, I am this certain ethnicity, because it is a cultural thing. It has like religion and culture and like place of origin are all put into ethnicity, so that's cultural, I guess.
You do bloopers in your thing? You really should. Your professor would laugh.
Okay.
And fuck. What was I gonna say? You can cut it, right? Okay.
Shit.
So, I guess race is when people run in a competition, there's usually a start and an end, and whoever crosses the line in the least amount of time wins. Chad's usually last in them.